Shalom. I haven't posted in a while. Yeah, I'm pretty much fed up with the situation here, as are many others. But I figured I really didn't have that much to share or contribute. And so I might as well just not bother. However, now there's a new development, and I've changed my mind. Here's a disclaimer. I am not interested in being politically correct. Some of the things that I say may offend some of you, including perhaps some of the language. So right off the bat, if you think you may be offended by me, then I would strongly suggest that you just tune out right now. I am not going to apologize for anything that I am about to say. So, by now, many people are aware of a new development in this horrific situation that we are all going through in Israel and around the world, actually. And others of you will be waking up to that news shortly. Here it goes. Israel and Hamas have agreed on something. I have an issue with that fundamental statement to begin with. Israel and Hamas discussed and agreed to a temporary ceasefire. 4 days. 4-day inactivity on Israel's part and on Hamas's part also. Mid-morning, by the way, just a few hours ago. Just to make note, rockets from Gaza, Sderot, and surrounds multiple rounds. Rockets from Lebanon, Rosh Hanikra. Okay, this is right after they agreed to a deal for a ceasefire. So Hamas said, hey, let's do something here. We want a prisoner swap. Okay, I'm gonna kind of start off with the fact that this is not me speaking, but this is widely known. Israel is very interested and has a duty to bring back her abducted and even killed prisoners, hostages. And that's because we care about our people. We hurt for them. Israel has organized so many memorial ceremonies and light installations and all sorts of stuff because it hurts us that these people are still there. Babies, teens, children, adults, elderly, and soldiers. However, historically, we kind of really sort of know that Hamas doesn't care about its people. They don't care about themselves. They don't care about the Gazan people. They're not interested. They don't respect life. So, but they're demanding release of prisoners. We can't even call them hostages. Prisoners. Well, apparently is really not for humanitarian reasons, right? And we're going to take a look at some of these prisoners in a second. Included in this deal. I don't even know how Israel agreed to this. I get it. It's a very difficult decision for Israel to make. 50 hostages, 50 of our hostages for 150 or 175, at this point that doesn't even matter, of their prisoners that are being held in Israel. Okay. Might I note that there's a big difference between people who we're holding and the people who they are holding. The people who are being held in Gaza are people who just try and enjoy life for a bit. And then others who were committing the god-awful crime of being home, minding their own business, being home, sleeping. The people who we're holding. You have to think. They're prisoners for a reason. How did they get themselves in prison to begin with? Right? Okay. Women and children and teens. Teens could be boys, girls. Because teens are seen as, not so much of a threat. However, one of the funerals I attended 2 weeks ago was that, and many know of this, of course, of a female police officer from Atlanta, Georgia, 20 years old. What was the age of the person who killed her and injured someone she was working with? 16 years old. In the days after she was killed, I wanted to pray for the soldiers, and and of course the hostages, and everyone who is being affected by this. I mean, personally, whose lives have been shattered. And I wanted to go to the Kotel, aka Western Wall, Wailing Wall, in Jerusalem. 3 days I wanted to do this, and I couldn't because there was either a stabbing or a shooting every single one of those days. After Rose was killed, there were two 14-year-olds who did some bad stuff and had tried to do worse stuff than they actually accomplished. So although they're teens, they're not the most peaceful. Let's talk about babies a bit. I don't know that we actually have babies that we're holding, honestly. But even if we did, they would be with the women who aren't as innocent as others would like to believe. And babies, unfortunately, in that world, are taught from the time that they can have any kind of control over their motor skills, not even fine motor skills. So motor skills, that comes first. They are given rocks, and then when they can carry heavier rocks, they're given heavier rocks. They are given fake firearms that end up being real firearms later on for the sole purpose of killing Jewish people. Done. That's it. It's even in their curriculum. Now, since we all know that babies, children, people. They're a product of their environment, of their upbringing. Everyone can agree to that. So theoretically, if they were whisked from these not peace-loving homes and at a very, very young age, before they're like really super impressionable, and raised in loving, balanced, healthy homes, they probably could be very peace-loving individuals later on. This is what we would love. We would love for everyone to get along. That's not the case. And I want to talk about the women. And this is just a partial list of the women who are going to be included in this prisoner swap. I don't know, did I say this before? Like, what the F? 50, one side has to release 50 when there are 240 or 250 and even more than that being held there. So it's not everyone, it's just a little teeny drop. And the other side has to give over 150 or 175. And by the way, I want to call out all these reporters and brilliant people, I'm being very sarcastic now, who were saying that Israeli response is not proportionate. Let's go with that word now, proportionate. I don't know, 50 versus 150 or 175? Is that proportionate? Shruti, I don't think that we should give back one. I honestly believe that Israel should just continue what it's doing. Pummel the, excuse my language, pummel the shit out of the entity that has vowed to continue to carry out October 7th like attacks over and over and over until all Jews are eradicated. Forget about whether that's even possible. Just the fact that that's what they want to do. I got a little issue with that. Just saying. So the women. 4 women who are considered not particularly harmful are ones who are attempted suicide bombers. They didn't quite succeed. They're bad. One 25-year-old woman from Jerusalem attempted to stab 2 people, successfully stabbing one in an attempted murder, but she didn't quite succeed in killing anyone, so she's not considered a murderer. Another 29-year-old woman from Shechem, Nablus, operated a terror cell and planned shooting attacks on Jewish civilians. An older woman on the list at the age of 44 merely tried to stab a police officer on the Temple Mount just 2 months ago. Another built a propane tank car bomb, injuring police at a checkpoint when it exploded. But no murderers are to be released. Releases include terrorists who are Israeli residents or citizens, including from Nazareth, Jerusalem, and al-Faham. Okay. Where's the proportionality here? Just wondering. Granted, I am very beyond thankful that I have not been directly impacted emotionally, psychologically. We've all been. Everyone here is a mess, a hot mess. We're all not doing very well emotionally, psychologically, all that crap. But thank God I don't have children in the army. I don't have a husband in the army, or a nephew in the army, or any kind of relative in the army. No one from my family has been abducted or killed. And I am currently living in what I guess we can consider at this particular moment in time, and of course that can change at any given moment, to be the safest place in Israel, Jerusalem. So people may be angry to hear what I'm about to say, and that's why I started off with tune out. Tune out. If you think I have no business opening my mouth, tune out, because I just don't care what you think. So maybe I really don't have a right to say what I'm about to say, because I so understand people they want their family members back. Babies, every part of the family unit, they just want them back. All of these people are going to have so much to deal with when they are finally in loving arms, which hopefully will happen very, very soon. Women being raped. Is there going to be a whole new wave of illegitimate babies being born, not out of love, but out of just heinous, inhumane force? I don't know how anyone who's there now is going to be able to grapple with their new reality. Now, I'm not just talking about people who have been raped and are pregnant now, unfortunately. I'm just talking about everyone. They're going to need unbelievable emotional support, moral support, financial support. It's just incomprehensible. So my heart does bleed for these people. And like everyone, I pray to God every single day that they are returned safely. And even those who are no longer alive. But a 4-day ceasefire with an entity that is hell-bent on destroying us does not make sense. In my humble opinion, the only reason why Hamas came out with this, and it was like, it's their deal that we're just going along with. The only reason why they came up with this is because we must be getting way too close for comfort for them. So my logical mind would have to say that they want time to regroup. And by us allowing them to do that, we are allowing them to confuse us more, to set us back in whatever we have accomplished at this point. If we're getting closer to finding the hostages, if they have the hostages in one place or more than one place, it is going to be more difficult for us to find them. This is going to last a lot longer, and more of our soldiers and perhaps hostages are going to be killed. God forbid, but I just don't see any other possibility. And by the way, the ceasefire not only doesn't include releasing 150 or 175 of their prisoners who are in prison for a good old reason. So, no fighting, no defending ourselves. For 4 days. No flying over their areas for 4 days, which means we can't see shit. Excuse my language. I mean, we have intelligence. But that will definitely thwart our efforts a bit. And we're also giving humanitarian aid to them. And fuel. We already know that fuel equals weapons, right? They need the fuel in order to keep these weapons going. So we're pretty much saying, oh, all right. Yeah, we'll take 50 people. That's okay. And we're just going to give you whatever you need in order to keep on pummeling the crap out of us. Or at least trying. And by the way, the big miracle is that with all these rockets, there's someone above. There's an entity above that really controls everything. Now, for the most part, no Israeli people have been killed. I mean, very few, if any. But that's not the human effort, that's a God effort. And you may not agree with me with even this gun, I don't care. We still have to do our due diligence. We definitely believe that this whole situation could have been avoided. And there's hard evidence to prove so many things that are attributed to this happening. And yeah, definitely the government is going to have to dissolve. The Israeli government will have to dissolve because they have a lot of explaining to do, and we don't know they'll actually do that. But making a deal with a terrorist organization fundamentally is not okay. We have given them a voice. We have given them power way too many times. And I can't believe that we've actually agreed to anything with them. Oh, and by the way, I think I started out by telling you that just today, in fact, there have been a bunch of rocket barrages. So it's very clear that they're interested in peaceful resolution. No, they're not. Anyway, I've gone on and on. There's a lot more I can say. Anyone who knows me knows that it's very difficult for me to stay quiet. But I am absolutely flabbergasted by what's going on here and by what we're allowing to go on. And I would like to know your thoughts. Anyone who actually stayed with me through this, 23 minutes. I'd like to know your thoughts. Peace out. Shulamit.